Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Let me introduce the book briefly. Before we go to the book directly, let me introduce some of the basic clarifications before understanding the zakat. Number one of the most essential methods of poverty eradication is zakat. Why? Because when it comes to Islamic perspective, there are so many models to eradicate poverty. Zakat, Sadaqah, Nafaka, Waqf, Warasat. But Zakat is one of the primary tools to eradicate poverty. In a minority context, we can simply implement two things. One is Nafaka, the other one is Sadaqah. According to this Quranic verse, as rightly mentioned before by Ustad Mansoor, when Quran speaks about spending on relatives and orphans and needy, Quran separately mention about zakat, which means along with other ways of spending, zakat is also a means to eradicate poverty. This is one of the primary understanding we need to get. Number two, zakat is not only an economic activity, but also a spiritual activity, which is defined by the word tutahhiruhum. Khudh min amwalihim sadaqatan tutahhiruhum. Purification. So zakat is not only contributing to the national economy, social upliftment, but also purifies the person. Number three, success of the zakat implementation is determined by its distribution mechanism. It's not only giving individually, it's not only allocating the money on my own, it's about implementing in a proper manner, which also emphasized with the word وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا. Through this word, Quran emphasizes which when zakat is implemented, it should be implemented in a manner where it achieves the objectives of zakat. So therefore, Quran directly emphasizes the institutionalized system of zakat implementation. Now let me briefly go to the book. This zakat, a practical guidebook, is presented in three main chapters. Chapter number 1 is general conditions of zakat. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Khairu sadaqati ma kana an dhahri ghina." The best of charity is which is given when you are self-sufficient. So when somebody is self-sufficient, he become eligible to pay zakat. So according to this hadith, we take basic conditions for zakat. Number 1, absolute ownership, augmentable wealth, being free from debts, completion of 1 lunar year, exceeding basic needs. Let me explain two things. What is augmentable wealth here? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Laysa alal muslimi fi farasihi wala ala abdihi sadaqah." A Muslim is not obligatory to pay zakah for his horse and slave, which means zakat is not obligatory on non-augmentable wealth. And the other important condition is exceeding basic needs. When Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ, they ask you what they should spend. Kulil af, say the excess, beyond your needs. So after deduction of all the expenses incurred, what remains? From that remaining excess, you spend. So these all conditions are derived from this basic hadith. That is number 1. Let me take you to the second chapter of the book, which is sources of zakat. Sources of zakat. And when it comes to sources of zakat, we take basically three main verses from Quran. Khudh min amwalihim sadaqah. Amwal. Quran explained the general term wealth. Wa'atu haqqahu yawma hasadi, which talks about all kinds of plants and agriculture. So all kinds of agricultural wealth are considered into zakat calculation. Anfiku min tayyibati ma kasabutum. Spend from the good things which you earned. All kinds of earnings are included through this verse. So all kinds of wealth, all kinds of plants, all kinds of earnings included into the zakat calculation according to these Quranic verses. When we come to our time and study what are the zakatable wealth, we understand traditionally money, agriculture, livestock, minerals and treasures, marine resources. When it comes to money, money in savings should be included into the zakat calculation. Also, assets purchased for accumulation purposes as well, assets purchased for extravagant purposes also could be considered as a money in saving. So therefore, it is also should be included into the zakat calculation. When it comes to modern business ventures, animal husbandry, working income, movable and immovable property income, service professional income, shares and financial instruments, and many more. So when we study all these areas to include into the zakatable wealth category, we found there are few different opinions on this wealth, whether this is included into the zakatable wealth or not. But the strong opinion, one of the strong opinion is these are zakatable wealth, which is the opinion of Imam Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah, which was again and again explained now. He is considered as a fifth Khalifa, as a righteous Khalifa, and he is a Tabi who was a student of many Sahabas, who is a Islamic jurist, and whose fatwas are widely spread and accepted by the Muslim community across the globe. So when we study Imam Umar ibn Abdul Aziz fatwas in all these areas, we get to know that all these wealth are considered as zakatable wealth, which is described in detail in our book. Our main third chapter in the book is zakat distribution. Before the distribution or during the distribution, there are 4 things to be considered. Number 1, zakat should be implemented in an institutionalized manner, which is emphasized through the word al-amiluna alayha. Number 2, during the zakat distribution, investment should be prioritized over consumption zakat. So when we supply or distribute the zakat, investment projects must be prioritized. Number 3, when we distribute the zakat among the fakir and miskin, normally in our social reality, we give to the fakir more of the zakat, but the miskin is most of the time ignored. But fakir and miskin should be equally given prominence and importance during the zakat distribution. Therefore, we can easily uplift the people who are in the edge of the development part. So when we support them to increase their wealth or develop their business, they will become zakat givers in the upcoming future. Number 4, fi sabilillah. For the cause of Allah, what are the activities can be done in a minority context to develop and to enrich our society? Educational projects, community projects, economic projects, political projects. So to strengthen the Muslim community, what kind of activities can be done? It's described and explained in our book. And finally, mu'allafatu kulubuhum, those who reconciled their hearts. When it comes to mu'allafatu kulubuhum, what kind of activities we can do? Reconciliation projects, social harmony activities, social coexistence activities can be included. When zakat is distributed in all these ways, we can contribute significantly to the achievement of zakat objective. Let me speak about the zakat distribution mechanism, how the zakat institution can work to achieve these set objectives. We emphasize zakat institution should be implemented based on planning. Planning should include in both collection and distribution. So zakat institution will have a well-equipped employees or the officials who are able to collect the zakat with the set objectives, and they collect the zakat with proper calculation and research, and the distribution also done in a way to achieve those targets. So collection is done with the planning, distribution is also done in a plan where we will reach the objective, which is the economic development. So proper planning, research, consultation will be the base of this Zakat institution which we emphasize. Now, what is the outcome we are going to gain to the country through this Zakat implementation? We bring three kind of benefits to the country through this implementation of Zakat. Number one, alleviation of poverty is one of the primary duty and function of a state. When we work on alleviating poverty in our community level, we are directly contributing to the state in alleviating poverty. So this is one of the contribution we could make to the country. National development. When we work on research findings, research plans, project proposals to develop the communities, to uplift the individuals, businesses, there will be so many business projects, employment opportunities, district-wise development, provincial development. Therefore, if Zakat is implemented in a proper manner, with investment projects and plans, we could contribute to the national development of our country. Finally, as I told you, when Mu'allafatul Qulub portion is distributed properly, we could contribute to the social harmony, social coexistence, which is the high need of our time. So these are the areas we can contribute to Zakat. Also, Mishkath is intending to work on in a detailed manner to how Zakat can be contributed to the national development, social harmony, and the national poverty eradication, which will be the next type of efforts. Also, Mishkath is intending to establish a national Zakat institution to guide the regional Zakat foundation, Zakat institution, in order to carry out their duties and responsibilities with the set objectives and targets and plans in order to achieve the Zakat objectives, ultimately to contribute to the nation. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.